The champagne glass shattered against the marble floor, sending crystal shards across my penthouse like tiny diamonds of broken trust. "What did you just say?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper as I stared at the woman I'd spent 2 years building a life with. Sophia stood there, her designer dress clinging to her curves, her phone still in her hand from the Instagram story she just posted. A story that didn't include me, but very much included him, her influencer friend, the photographer, the man whose hand had been suspiciously close to places it shouldn't be in every recent photo. "I said I need space to explore who I am without you controlling everything," she repeated, her amber eyes defiant. "You're suffocating me, Marcus. You and your corporate world, your schedules, your expectations." I looked around our penthouse, the one I'd purchased specifically because she loved the view, the custom furniture she'd insisted we needed, the art pieces that cost more than most people's cars, all chosen by her for the aesthetic. "Controlling," I repeated slowly, letting the words settle between us. "Is that what we're calling it when I ask you to spend one evening without posting every moment online? When I request that our anniversary dinner be about us, not your followers?" She rolled her eyes, that practiced gesture she used when she thought someone was being unreasonable. "You don't understand my world, Marcus. You never have. Social media is my career, my life. If you can't handle that, I can't handle watching you flirt with another man and call it brand collaboration." I cut her off. "I can't handle finding messages on your laptop that have nothing to do with photography angles and everything to do with meeting him at hotels." The color drained from her face. "You went through my laptop?" "It was open. Your messages auto-displayed." I pulled out my phone, showing her the screenshots I'd taken. Not because I was planning revenge, but because the lawyer in me knew documentation mattered. "Care to explain why Jake needs to feel your energy in his hotel room at midnight?" She snatched for my phone, but I pulled it back. "Those were taken out of context." "Really?" "Because I can't wait to feel you inside me again." Seems pretty clear context to me. Sophia's mask cracked. For a moment I saw panic, then calculation, then something that looked almost like relief. "Fine. Yes, Jake and I have been seeing each other. Are you happy now?" I wasn't happy. I was something beyond anger, beyond hurt. I was coldly, precisely calculating. "Does it matter?" "How long?" She sighed dramatically. 3 months, maybe 4. It just happened, Marcus. You were always working, always busy with your cases and clients. Jake was there. He understood my world. "I worked to give you this world," I said, gesturing around us. "Every brand deal you landed came from connections I introduced you to. Every door that opened had my hand on it first, and you repaid me by fucking a photographer in hotels I probably paid for with our joint account." "Our joint account?" She laughed bitterly. "You mean your account that you graciously let me access? You always held money over my head, Marcus. Made me feel like I owed you for everything." I pulled out my tablet, opened a document I'd prepared weeks ago when I first suspected something was wrong. "Is that so? Let me show you something." The spreadsheet displayed every transaction from our joint account over 2 years. "Here's $15,000 for that Bali trip with friends. Jake was there, wasn't he?" She didn't answer. "Here's $8,000 for the business equipment you needed. Here's $3,500 for the hotel room in Miami during that girls' weekend." Her face went pale. "You tracked everything?" "I'm a corporate lawyer, Sophia. Documentation is what I do." I scrolled further. "Here's where it gets interesting. See these charges at the Mondrian? That boutique hotel you said was too expensive when I suggested we stay there for our anniversary? You've been there 18 times in 3 months, always on Thursdays, always for 3-hour blocks." "Stop it," she whispered. "Why? You wanted space. I'm giving you clarity." I pulled up another document. "This is the lease agreement for this penthouse. Notice whose name is on it." "Just mine." "The furniture you picked out? Purchased by me. That Mercedes you drive? Titles in my name, lease payments from my account." "What are you doing?" Her voice shook. "I'm doing what I do best, calculating value and worth." I stood, buttoning my suit jacket with deliberate precision. "You wanted to explore who you are without me? Perfect. I'm granting you that opportunity, effective immediately." "You can't just kick me out." "Actually, I can. This is my property. You're not on the lease. Legally, you're a guest who's overstayed her welcome." I pulled out another envelope. This is a formal 30-day notice to vacate, prepared by my firm, very generous considering the circumstances. She grabbed the envelope, her hands trembling. You're seriously doing this? Over a mistake? A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. This was a choice. Multiple choices. Hundreds of lies. I walked to the window, looking out at the city lights. You know what the worst part is? Not the cheating. Not even the lies. It's that you made me feel crazy for noticing, gaslighting me every time I questioned those late-night shoots or suspicious messages. Marcus, please. I'm not finished. I turned back to her. You used me, my money, my connections, my reputation to build your platform. Then you betrayed me with someone you met through my network. Jake got that campaign shoot with Versace because I played golf with their marketing director. That's how you two met. Tears started streaming down her face. Real ones this time, not the photogenic kind she used for emotional content. I'm sorry, I was stupid, confused. Jake doesn't mean anything. Don't insult both of us. If he didn't mean anything, you wouldn't have risked everything for him. I grabbed my briefcase. I'm staying at the Four Seasons tonight. I suggest you start packing. And Sophia? That Mercedes needs to be parked in the building garage with the keys at the front desk by tomorrow evening. You're taking my car? It's not your car. It never was. I headed toward the door, then paused. One more thing, that joint account, I've already removed your access. You'll find exactly $5,000 deposited into your personal account, 1 month's worth of average expenses based on your spending patterns. Consider it a severance package. A severance package? I'm not your employee. No, but you certainly treated our relationship like a job, one where you collected benefits while working for someone else. I opened the door. My lawyer will be in touch about any remaining property disputes. I'd suggest you get your own legal representation. I walked out, leaving her standing in the wreckage of the life she'd thrown away. The elevator ride down felt longer than usual, each floor a memory I'd have to eventually stop counting. My phone buzzed. A text from her. I never loved you for your money. I typed back, no, you loved my money despite me. There's a difference. Another text. Jake and I are in love. Real love. Not your transactional bullshit. I smiled coldly and replied, give it 3 months. When you can't afford the lifestyle you're accustomed to, we'll see how real that love is. By the way, Jake's engagement to his long-term girlfriend is still active on Facebook. Check his profile, the one he thinks is private. Her name is Amanda. They're getting married in June. I blocked her number before she could respond. At the Four Seasons, I ordered a $400 bottle of scotch and sat by the window, looking out at the city. My phone rang, an unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answered. Marcus? A woman's voice, unfamiliar. This is Amanda Chen. I think we need to talk about Jake Wilson and Sophia Martinez. 2 hours later, Amanda and I sat in the hotel bar, comparing notes like two detectives who'd been working the same case from different angles. She was stunning, a corporate executive with sharp eyes and sharper instincts. He told me those photo shoots ran late because of difficult clients, she said, nursing a gin and tonic. I never questioned it because Jake's always been so passionate about his work. Sophia told me she needed creative freedom and that I was too controlling for wanting transparency, I added. Meanwhile, she was creating content in hotel rooms with your fiancé. Amanda laughed bitterly. The universe has a sick sense of humor. We were supposed to go to Paris next month to meet my parents. He insisted on paying for everything himself, said he had a major client paying him. I guess we know who that client was. Sophia's brand deals suddenly make more sense now, I said. She claimed brands were paying her, but the money never quite added up. We sat in silence for a moment, two people connected by betrayal. What's your plan? Amanda finally asked. Professionally? Move on. Build my firm. Win cases. I swirled my scotch. Personally, I'm done trying to fix people who don't want to be fixed. Same, she agreed. Though I'll admit, part of me wants to crash their little affair spectacularly. I looked at her thoughtfully. What if I told you there's a way to do that without getting our hands dirty? Her eyes lit up with interest. I'm listening. 3 weeks later, Sophia posted on Instagram, so excited to announce my new relationship with the incredibly talented @JakeWilson Photography. When you know, hash new beginnings, real love, authentic life. The post had barely been live for an hour when Amanda posted her own. Interesting how my fiance of 4 years is announcing new relationships. At Jake Wilson Photography, should I return the engagement ring or are we still on for our wedding next month? Confused, not the betrayal, receipts for days. She included screenshots, lots of screenshots, hotel receipts with both their names, text messages, even a photo of Jake at her family's Christmas dinner 2 weeks prior. Within minutes, the comments exploded. Sophia's followers, who'd watched her perfect relationship content for years, turned on her. The brand deals she'd been desperately trying to maintain started dropping off. Jake's photography clients, mostly engaged couples and families, started canceling. Turns out people don't want their wedding photos taken by someone whose own engagement was fake. I didn't comment, didn't like, didn't engage. I simply watched from a distance as the consequences of their choices played out publicly. My phone rang. Sophia. I didn't answer. She texted, "This is your fault. You and that bitch Amanda destroyed us." I replied with just a link to her own post from 3 weeks ago where she'd written, "Remember, what you do in the dark always comes to light. Stay authentic, loves, keeping it real, no filters." Then I blocked her on everything. 6 months later, I was closing the biggest deal of my career when my assistant buzzed me. "Sir, there's a woman here to see you. She doesn't have an appointment but says it's urgent. Her name is Sophia Martinez." I should have said no. Should have had security escort her out, but curiosity won. She looked different. The designer clothes were gone, replaced by a simple dress. Her hair, usually perfectly styled, was pulled back in a basic ponytail. No ring light glow, no camera ready makeup. "Thank you for seeing me," she said quietly, sitting across from my desk. "You have 5 minutes. "I'm not here to ask for anything," she began. "I'm here to apologize. Really apologize, not the performative kind I posted online." I leaned back in my chair. "I'm listening. You were right about everything. Jake, the money, the lies, all of it." She twisted her hands in her lap. When the truth came out, everything fell apart. My sponsorships disappeared. My followers turned on me. Jake blamed me for ruining his career and went back to Amanda, who, surprisingly, took him back after he groveled for months. "Amanda always was too forgiving," I muttered. "I ended up moving back in with my parents in Ohio," she continued. "Got a job at a marketing agency, real work, real hours, real paycheck. It's humbling, making $45,000 a year when you're used to spending that much on a vacation." "Why are you telling me this?" "Because I want you to know that I understand now. What I had with you wasn't perfect, but it was real. You loved me. Actually loved me, not my image or my platform. And I threw it away for validation from strangers and the excitement of sneaking around." I studied her face, looking for manipulation, for the angle. But all I saw was genuine regret. "I also came to give you this." She pulled out a check from her purse. "It's for $5,000. The severance you gave me. I never deserved it, but I spent it anyway. This is me paying it back, slowly. It's taken 6 months of saving, but it's a start." I took the check, looked at it, then slowly tore it in half. Her eyes widened. "What are you doing?" "I don't want your money, Sophia. I never did. The money was never the point." "Then what was the point?" "Respect, loyalty, partnership." I stood up, walking to my window. "You treated our relationship like a transaction, so I responded in kind. But taking money from you now would make me exactly what you accused me of being, someone who values finances over feelings." She stood, tears streaming down her face. "I'm so sorry, Marcus, for everything. You deserved so much better." Yes, I did. I turned to face her. "But you know what? I'm grateful. You taught me what I won't tolerate, what I'm worth, and that's valuable too. Is there any chance?" "No," I said firmly but not unkindly. "We both need to move forward separately. You need to figure out who you are without validation from others, and I need to find someone who values me for who I am, not what I can provide." She nodded, wiping her tears. "You're going to find someone amazing, someone who appreciates you." "I already have," I said, smiling slightly. Her face fell. "Oh, that's good. I'm happy for you." I didn't correct her assumption, let her think I'd moved on romantically. The truth was simpler. I'd found myself again. The version of me that existed before I tried to fit into her world. After she left, I sat at my desk for a long time, thinking about the past year. The betrayal, the anger, the calculated revenge, and finally the peace. My phone buzzed, a text from Amanda. "Drinks tonight? I have news." I smiled and replied, "The usual place?" Amanda and I had become unlikely friends through our shared experience. She'd eventually left Jake. Some lessons stick, others don't. We'd grab drinks occasionally, two people who understood the unique sting of public betrayal. That evening at our usual bar, Amanda was glowing. "You look happy," I observed. "I am. I'm moving to London. I got offered a VP position at my company's international office." She raised her glass. "New city, new chapter, new me." "That's incredible, Amanda. Congratulations." "What about you? Any plans to leave New York?" I thought about it. "No, this is my city. I'm not letting bad memories chase me away from good opportunities." She smiled. "That's the Marcus I know, never backing down." We talked for hours about life, work, healing. As the night wound down, she asked the question I'd been waiting for. "Do you ever wonder what would have happened if they hadn't betrayed us? Would you still be with her?" I considered it carefully. Honestly, probably. And I would have been miserable, slowly suffocating in a relationship built on my sacrifice and her narcissism. In a twisted way, their betrayal freed me. "Same," she admitted. Jake and I had issues long before Sophia. The affair just brought them to light. We clinked glasses. "To betrayal," Amanda said with dark humor. "To better futures," I corrected. 1 year after that night in my penthouse, I stood in the same spot by the window, but everything was different. The furniture had been updated, my choices this time. The art was personal, meaningful, not just expensive. And most importantly, I was alone by choice, not circumstance. My phone buzzed with a notification. Sophia had posted a new video. Against my better judgment, I watched it. She sat in a simple room, no ring light, no perfect backdrop. "A year ago, I lost everything I thought mattered," she began. "My platform, my relationship, my carefully curated life. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me." She talked about real growth, genuine change, and accountability. It wasn't the performative apology I'd expected. It felt honest. "I hurt someone who loved me," she continued, not naming me directly. "I took his generosity for granted, his love for weakness, and his trust for foolishness. I can't undo those choices, but I can make better ones moving forward." The video ended with her volunteering at a community center, working with at-risk youth, teaching them about social media responsibility and self-worth beyond likes and follows. I didn't comment, didn't like. But I felt something shift inside me, the last piece of anger dissolving into acceptance. 2 years later, I met someone new. Sarah was a federal prosecutor, sharp, independent, and completely unimpressed by wealth or status. Our first date was at a dive bar she chose, where we argued about Supreme Court decisions and laughed about our shared love of terrible reality TV. She knew about Sophia. I'd been honest about my past, the betrayal, the calculated revenge. "Did it make you feel better?" Sarah asked. "The revenge?" "In the moment? Yes. Long term, I don't know. It didn't change what happened. But it gave you control when you felt powerless," she observed. "That matters." This woman understood me in ways Sophia never could. She challenged me, matched me, saw me as an equal rather than a resource. 6 months into our relationship, Sarah met me at my office with an unusual request. "I need your help with something," she said. "There's a woman who keeps showing up at the courthouse asking to talk to you. Security's been turning her away, but she's persistent. Her name is Sophia," I finished. Sarah raised an eyebrow. "You want to see her?" "No, but I think I need to. Closure, maybe." We met at a neutral coffee shop, Sarah sitting at a nearby table doing work, close enough if I needed her but giving us privacy. Sophia looked healthy, grounded. "Thank you for meeting me," she said. "I know I have no right to ask." "What do you want, Sophia?" "I'm writing a book," she said, "about influencer culture, the dark side of social media validation, and how I lost myself chasing likes. My publisher wants me to address the relationship I destroyed. I wanted your permission to tell the story honestly, including the parts where I was completely wrong." I studied her carefully. "Why now? Why dredge this up?" "Because young women are making the same mistakes I made. They're measuring their worth by engagement metrics and treating real people like content. If my story can help even one person avoid that path, it's worth the embarrassment." "Will you profit from this book?" Yes, but 50% of my proceeds are going to a nonprofit that helps people recover from narcissistic abuse. It's not about the money for me anymore. I believed her. More importantly, I realized I didn't care either way. This chapter of my life was closed. You have my permission, I said, on one condition. Anything. Tell the truth, all of it. Don't make yourself the victim. Don't romanticize the affair. Show the real consequences, not just for me, but for you, Jake, Amanda. Make it matter. She nodded, tears in her eyes. I will, I promise. As I stood to leave, she asked one final question. Are you happy, Marcus? I looked over at Sarah, who was trying to hide her smile while pretending to read case files. Yes, Sophia, I really am. Good. You deserve it. 3 months later, Sophia's book hit the shelves. Filtered Reality: How I Lost Myself in the Likes. It was brutally honest, naming me by first name only, but not hiding the details. The reviews were mixed, some praising her honesty, others criticizing her for profiting from her mistakes. I didn't read it. Sarah did, though, and gave me the summary over dinner. She takes full responsibility, Sarah said. Doesn't blame you for anything, actually portrays you pretty favorably. Successful, generous, patient until you weren't. How's it doing? Surprisingly well, hit the Times bestseller list. But here's the interesting part. She's donating her book tour appearances to domestic violence shelters and youth programs. Walking the walk, not just talking the talk. I felt nothing. No anger, no satisfaction, just neutrality. The sign of true healing. 5 years after that champagne glass shattered in my penthouse, I was getting married. Sarah, the woman who challenged me, supported me, and loved me without conditions, was about to become my wife. At the reception, my phone buzzed with an Instagram message request. Sophia, congratulations on your wedding. She's beautiful. You're glowing. I'm genuinely happy for you. Thank you for teaching me what love looks like when someone actually deserves it. All the best, S. I showed Sarah. Do you want to respond? She asked. I thought about it, then typed, thank you. I hope you find your happiness too. Then I put my phone away and danced with my wife, surrounded by people who loved us, really loved us. Well, not for what we could provide, but for who we were. That night, as Sarah and I drove to our honeymoon hotel, she asked, do you ever think about what you'd say to Sophia if you could go back to that night she betrayed you? I used to think I'd tell myself to see the signs earlier, to protect myself better, I said. But now, I'd tell myself that it's going to hurt like hell, but it's going to lead me exactly where I need to be. Which is, I kissed her hand. Right here. With you. The past is a story we tell ourselves, and we get to choose which parts matter. Sophia taught me about betrayal and resilience. She showed me the difference between performance and authenticity. And ultimately, she taught me that the right person doesn't just love you, they see you, value you, and choose you every single day. Sometimes the worst thing that happens to us becomes the catalyst for the best thing. The champagne glass shattered, but from those broken pieces, I built something stronger, clearer, and infinitely more valuable. I built myself.